God, before the pace of this day begins to dictate what matters, I want to give you my first attention. The room may still be quiet, but my mind is already capable of filling itself with schedules, messages, unfinished work, and other people's expectations. I choose to begin somewhere deeper. Receive these first conscious moments as an act of surrender. Teach me to live the coming hours from your presence, instead of merely visiting your presence before I become busy. Thank you for the simple mercy of waking up. Thank you for light through a window, for water, food, shelter, breath, memory, movement, and another opportunity to love people better than I did yesterday. I do not want familiarity to make these gifts invisible. Before I ask for productivity or success, let wonder return to ordinary things. Gratitude can slow a hurried heart, and this morning, I allow it to remind me that my life is more than a list of tasks waiting to be completed. As I surrender this day, show me what I am still trying to keep outside your reach. Perhaps it is an ambition I am afraid to question, a relationship I am trying to control, a resentment I keep rehearsing, or a decision I want you to approve rather than guide. Let it affect what I click, what I say, what I buy, what I postpone, and how I treat people when no one is impressed. Today I ask you to take first place in my thoughts, order my priorities, and teach me to live this day in conscious fellowship with you. I do not ask from a place of entitlement. I ask as someone who needs wisdom beyond personal instinct and strength beyond personal willpower. Shape the answer so that it produces maturity rather than dependence on constant rescue. If the answer requires waiting, strengthen me to wait without becoming passive. If it requires action, make the next step clear enough to take. If it requires releasing something I wanted, give me grace to let go without interpreting surrender as defeat. Father, before I give my attention to messages, demands, news, deadlines, or other people's expectations, I give my attention to you. I do not want the first voice shaping my heart today to be anxiety or urgency. Let your truth establish the tone of this morning. Remind me who I am before I think about what I must accomplish. I belong to you. My worth is not measured by how much I finish, how quickly I respond, or how impressive I appear. Let that freedom settle deeply enough that I can work diligently without becoming ruled by performance. Train my attention before the day's noise trains it for me. When I reach automatically for the phone, drift between tasks, or keep reopening the same worry, help me notice the movement without shame and return deliberately to what matters. Give me the ability to stay with one responsibility long enough to do it well. Let quiet focus become an act of worship in a culture that constantly rewards divided attention. Here is my calendar, Lord. The fixed appointments, the flexible tasks, the obligations I accepted. Help me sort them according to importance rather than emotional pressure. Show me what must be done personally, what can be delegated, what needs a deadline, and what should simply be removed. I want a day with order, not a day crowded merely so that I can feel necessary. I place the people I love before you without reducing them to items on my prayer list. Each person has an interior world I cannot fully see. Give me sensitivity to changes in tone, energy, and need. Help me be present enough to notice when someone wants advice and when they only need to be heard. Keep affection from becoming interference, and let my care leave room for other people to make their own responsible choices. Let my conversations carry the quietness I am asking you to build in me. Keep me from answering every message as though it were urgent, and every disagreement as though it were a threat. Help me listen before preparing a defense. Give me language that is clear, unhurried, and honest. Where a simple apology is needed, make me willing to offer it. Where silence would be wiser than another opinion, teach me to leave space rather than filling it with words. I surrender my calendar to you. Some parts of this day are planned, and some will arrive without warning. Give me grace for both. Keep me from treating interruptions as enemies when they may become opportunities to love, listen, or learn. At the same time, teach me to protect the responsibilities you have genuinely given me. Help me say yes without people-pleasing and no without guilt. Show me what deserves attention now, what can wait. Order my day according to wisdom rather than impulse. Help me inhabit my body with wisdom today. Remind me that devotion does not require ignoring sleep, hunger, pain, or the limits of attention. Give me discipline to pause, breathe, stretch, eat responsibly, and seek care when necessary. If my body is carrying exhaustion, illness, or tension, meet me with compassion rather than shame. Let physical limitations teach me dependence without becoming an excuse to abandon the responsibilities I can still fulfill. As I give you this day, I also give you the hidden places where temptation likes to negotiate. Keep me from reaching for distraction whenever discomfort appears. Guard me from the impulse to numb myself with endless scrolling, impulsive spending, resentment fantasy, or habits that leave me emptier afterward. When I feel the first pull towards something that weakens me, make the better choice visible and give me enough courage to choose it while the decision is still small. Teach me to move through people rather than around them. The day may bring slow service, interruptions, competing priorities, and personalities that test my patience. Do not let my schedule become permission to treat another person as an obstacle. Give me the grace to see a human being before I see an inconvenience. At the same time, help me protect healthy limits so that kindness does not become chronic overcommitment or fear of disappointing everyone. If the day becomes unclear, remind me that surrender does not require passivity or perfect certainty. I can pray, gather information, make a reasonable choice, and remain open to correction. Keep me from using waiting on God to avoid a conversation or decision whose next step is already obvious. At the same time, restrain me when urgency is only anxiety wearing a respectable name. Lord, make my inner life quieter than the world around me when notifications, opinions, memories, and worries compete for my attention. Bring me back to your presence. Teach me to pray in the small spaces of the day, before I answer, before I decide, before I react, before I speak. Let communion with you become more than a morning practice. Let it become the atmosphere in which I move through the hours ahead. Because I am beginning with you, make me more available to notice someone else. Perhaps the most faithful thing I do today will not appear on my calendar. It may be a careful answer, a ride, a generous tip, a patient conversation, or a message sent at the right moment. Keep me from being so absorbed in personal goals that I miss the ordinary opportunities through which love becomes concrete. Release me from the morning habit of checking my life against someone else's highlight reel. Before comparison gets a voice, remind me that another person's pace cannot tell me whether I am faithful. Give me freedom to admire without coveting, learn without imitating, and celebrate without feeling diminished. Help me return to the particular life I have actually been given, and to the next responsibility that belongs to me, not to an imagined version of me. When today's plans fail to unfold neatly, keep surrender from becoming only a word I used in the morning. If a meeting is cancelled, a child needs me, technology fails, traffic slows me, or an answer disappoints me, teach me to surrender again in real time. I do not want peace that survives only while everything follows my preferred sequence. Build a steadier peace, one that can adapt without becoming passive and grieve without becoming bitter. By starting this day with you, I am choosing dependence over self-sufficiency. I will still plan, work, think, and take responsibility, but I do not want to carry the illusion that everything rests on me. What I cannot control, I place in your hands. What I can influence, help me approach faithfully. What I do not understand, teach me to hold with patience. Stay at the center of this day from its first quiet moments to its final breath of gratitude tonight. Give me a healthier relationship with time. Keep me from racing through the morning to reach the next thing and then racing through that thing as well. Show me when urgency is real and when it is a habit. Help me work with focus, leave reasonable margins, and accept. I would rather finish fewer things with integrity than fill every hour and become emotionally absent from the people standing in front of me. Call me back to you in ordinary transitions. When I close one tab and open another, leave the house, sit in the car, wash my hands, pour coffee, or wait for someone to answer. Let those small pauses become doorways back into awareness. A surrendered day is built from many surrendered moments. Keep my attention from drifting so far into noise that I forget the quiet decision I made here at the beginning. I give up the fiction that I can secure the whole day by thinking about it hard enough. Planning is useful, but rumination is not control. I can prepare for a conversation without rehearsing every possible response. I can make a budget without predicting every expense. I can care about someone without monitoring every choice they make. Teach me where responsible action ends and trust begins. Then give me the discipline to stop carrying what belongs beyond that boundary. By the time evening comes, I want to be able to look back and recognize more than completed tasks. Let me notice where I remained patient, where I chose honesty, where I returned to prayer before reacting, and where I allowed your priorities to interrupt mine. Success today may include things no one applauds. Shape my definition of a good day around faithfulness, love, wisdom, and a conscience that can rest. I place this morning, afternoon, and evening before you, without trying to script every detail. Take first place in my attention and teach me to return there whenever I wander. Bless my work with focus, my relationships with patience, my choices with clarity, and my rest with freedom from guilt. If plans change, keep me responsive. If progress comes, if nothing dramatic happens, let me recognize the holiness of an ordinary day lived in companionship with you. This day is yours, and I receive it as a gift rather than a burden to control. Keep bringing my attention back to you when the day becomes noisy. Let ordinary faithfulness matter more to me than visible busyness. Teach me to receive interruptions without surrendering every boundary. Give my work focus and my relationships unhurried presence. Let evening find me grateful for a day I did not have to control. Teach me to begin again after distraction without turning a wandering mind into a reason for guilt. If I discover at noon that I have been moving on autopilot, let one quiet moment be enough to return. I do not need to wait for tomorrow morning to surrender again. Your presence is available in the middle of an ordinary day. Stay with me. Let my first commitment to you keep reshaping the day after this prayer ends. Make room in my schedule for attention, gratitude, and responsible rest. Keep me from confusing a full calendar with a meaningful life. When I reach the end of today, let me recognize your presence in more than dramatic answers. Let me see it in restraint before a careless reply, concentration when work required it, patience with someone I love, and the willingness to stop when enough had been done. Teach me to begin with you, return to you, and finish the day without carrying tomorrow before it arrives. Let my heart rest tonight. Jesus, remain at the center of this day. I pray in your name. Amen.